This situation is devastating for these people that live in this community and has really turned their lives upside down.
What was this morning? No, around 6:30. We heard a lot of commotion out there at the street, and then the next thing we know, my husband's saying, get out now.
Marty Jenkins and her husband had little time to think, much less grab their valuables.
It was about here when we left.
No, it was barely on the floor when we left.
Yeah, right here, the bottom baseboard. All my husband's thousands of baseball cards ruined. Oh, mercy. Went above our bathtub, and I had put stuff in the bathtub thinking it would be safe.
Outside, the force of the moving water is still evident.
It came all the way over here and somehow filled with water.
So your family, everybody made it out?
Across the street, Joe Mancius says when the water roared into his home, he went into survival mode. You said you were on the roof?
Yeah, I was on the roof. Well, you know, I didn't know how long we were going to be there. The water was real high. So I knew I needed to get them out, and I knew I needed to somehow provide them water.
It was fast enough to knock down his concrete reinforced fence. Yeah, a lot of people were walking around the neighborhood just kind of a daze, amazed at just what happened to them. More than 1,000 homes were evacuated today, and hundreds of homes may have been lost due to this flooding. KXAN's Chris Sadeghi has been watching it all from very early this morning. Chris?
41 feet high. That's how big Onion Creek grew overnight. Too big, too fast.
Oh, total chaos. There's emergency vehicles everywhere.
Children in costume got a Halloween scare way larger than what they bargained for.
There's little kids drenched in water, just with their clothes on their back.
Onion Creek hadn't peaked this high in 92 years.
I want to see my mom.
Carrie Bunch's 69-year-old mother had to climb even higher and then wait for help.
She said there were several families on the roof with her. And she said her refrigerator floated by.
By helicopter and by boat, rescue crews pulled nearly 200 people to rescue off their rooftops, out of their attics, and sometimes out of the water.
And they zoomed in there with that Zodiac and grabbed me and just yanked me out of the water. I got bruises, man, but I don't care. You know?
As quickly as everybody had to leave their home, they had to wait a while to get back in while the water receded. A few of these shelters were set up for them to get some food and water and also share some information.
18 inches from the ceiling, and it's a mobile home. Total loss.
And many more of the 1,000 evacuated homes may not be livable for a while. Patty Farr's home has flooded before. She knows the worst is still ahead.
Oh, mud. Nothing but mud and water and stink. It's going to stink.
In southeast Austin, Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
And there are hundreds of flooded out cars and trucks around here, too. People are heartsick. This neighborhood was not prepared for this. Heartsick, too, that this system didn't go further to the west to help fill our Highland lakes. Leslie and Jim?
Yeah, we did have quite a bit of rain totals, though. Wow.
We did, and since Robert mentioned the lake, had this rain happened 25 miles northwest, Lake Travis would be really shooting up today. As it stands now, Lake Travis got about an inch. It's gone up a half a foot today, not going to go up a lot more. This is the second time in a row this has happened. Look at these rainfall totals, Leslie. 12.45 inches down in the Wimberley area, 9.47. We've Doppler estimates down here in Hayes County, up to 14 inches of rainfall. Not all the rain falls right in a rain gauge, and we believe some of those estimates are really on track. So rain like we haven't seen, and a flood on Onion Creek like we haven't seen really in history. This now ranks #1 worst flood ever on Onion Creek. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but the other rainfall totals northward that flooded parts of the Austin metro last night included 8.38 in Bull Creek. We had a couple of rain gauge reports from viewers of 9 inches plus in northwest Austin up toward Round Rock and Hutto, some 8-inch totals, 9.7 in the Buda area. Now let's go out in the hill country. Would you look at this? 0.01 in Llano. This is the watershed for Lakes Buchanan and Lakes Travis. But you're not getting water in the lakes when you get that kind of rainfall. It barely rained out there at all. In our eastern counties, 8.09 in the Cedar Creek area. Bastrop getting 4.5 inches. Smithville, 4.25. Then you got down into the LaGrange area, and 1.87 was all that was left there as the storm began to peter out a little bit as it moved on to the east.